Let me start off by telling you a scary story. So, one spring afternoon, I'm sitting in Mr. Prozik's classroom, enjoying the sunlight that filters through the blinds and listening to the lovely sound of my classmates ranting about an American TV show across the room. When suddenly, out of the blue, the office lady comes running up to me and whispers in my ear, "Mr. Parr wants to meet you." Imagine my terror. Was it about the time I secretly ate an entire box of chocolates under my mask during econ class, or maybe the time my friends and I broke into the field house to steal a soccer ball, or, well, at the actual meeting, I wasn't scolded or anything. On the contrary, I ended up getting this. Phew, end of scary story. As I left Mr. Parr's room, relieved that the meeting wasn't about chocolates or soccer balls, I looked at this sash and realized that this word, valedictorian, seemed like one of those titles you get in a video game after you complete a difficult achievement or clear a rare quest, like Champion or Master Wizard or Dragon Slayer. And this made me think that our entire high school experience was kind of like a huge RPG video game itself. Say Season 1. So, fellow graduates, I'd like to use this speech to look back at our very own RPG adventure called high school. For those of you who are unsure what an RPG or a role-playing game is, basically just think of the most popular adventure games like Pokemon or Zelda or Dragon Quest. At the very beginning, we started off as freshmen, as level 1 adventurers. We knew nothing about the terrors that awaited us in the future, with only a tiny wooden sword in one hand and a rusty shield in the other. Each subject was like a dungeon with different environments and monsters and challenges. There was the blazing desert of English, the deep, dark sea of mathematics, the endless economics jungle, and the spooky caves of bio, chem, and physics. Every class, we'd complete all sorts of different quests and defeat all sorts of different monsters to learn and level up. Summative tests and projects were like mini-bosses, think the Pokemon gym leaders or Bowser Jr. And the final exams were the big, bad, evil boss, the source of all pain and suffering, think Sans, Sephiroth, or Bowser. And today, when you receive your diploma and flip the string across your hat, you've cleared the game. To be completely honest, I believe you would all agree that our high school RPG was quite a bit tiring and stressful. We'd switch on the game and log in every day, walking up those stairs with heavy backpacks and even heavier eyelids. We'd face different monsters in different dungeons hour after hour, heaving ourselves through deserts and oceans and spooky caves. Of course, we'd level up as we learn more. But the quests and monsters we face would also become bigger and stronger by the day with new chapters and topics and questions. Think back to the time you saw Theory of the Firm or Differential Equations, H.L. China or Human Physiology, and felt like you were standing before a raging fire-breathing dragon 5 times your size. And on top of all that classwork, the EE, CAS project, TOKSA, IAs, and college apps came pouncing on us one after another, barely giving us time to catch our breath or restore our HP. Many of you had various commitments outside of school as well, basically having to juggle 2 or 3 game consoles at the same time. But in all RPGs of this type, you, the main character, are never alone. For all the gamers here today, you know that there's always that nice magician girl who joins your party and heals their HP during battle, and there's that childhood rival character who keeps fighting you around but helps you defeat the big bad boss in the end. During our crazy adventure, we certainly weren't alone either. When times were rough, when we just felt like pressing quit, shutting down the whole game, and throwing it all out the window, our families were there for us, our teachers were there for us, and of course, we were there for each other. Whether it's playing League until 3 a.m., or singing at karaoke for hours, eating way too much meat at yakiniku, or taking random TikToks for no particular reason, we've all made memories with each other that made this adventure so much more enjoyable. Now, to make my final, most important point, just like in any RPG storyline, each one of you has special skills, abilities, and powers that make you all unique characters and marvelous individuals. Some of you are extremely hardworking both in and out of school. Some of you are just so good at making people smile. Some of you speak 3, 4 different languages and are studying even more. Some of you have incredible artistic, musical, and athletic talents. Some of you cook delicious foods and desserts. Some of you know so much about anime that you could straight up get an anime PhD. Some of you have hands down the best Instagram private account content. Some of you are excellent at teaching and explaining things. Some of you are just too nice and giving to others that I genuinely worry you'll be scammed one day without even noticing it. Some of you are the most confident, determined, and strong-willed people I've ever met. Some of you come up with the craziest ideas and then shock me by actually managing to make them work. And all of you are just amazing people to be around and spend time with. So thank you, my fellow graduates, for making my high school journey so colorful and exciting, and I truly hope yours was too. We started off with a tiny wooden sword, but today, as we are about to clear this game once and for all, I am sure that each of you has all sorts of new weapons and skills and knowledge up your sleeve to show off in the future. So, have confidence as you begin your new adventure, as you travel through new dungeons and encounter new monsters, and always remember how unique and special of a character you are in this ginormous game of life. Thank you.